Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Sunday, August 23rd, 2020. In both the Lynn-Life and the Jamie Body Mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions, and all other souls from all other dimensions, as long as the souls are already living by the many Search for Truth rules already given to the Search for Truth community by wiser minds above all of us. And those rules really basically consist of, and this is an oversimplification, so just chill out. But the rules consist of running experiments and with an open mind and curiosity and see what happens, searching for truth, running experiments, what happens. And all of that is happening inside the frame of reference that the soul plan is to stop the destruction of planet Earth at humanity's hands using tools sent in by the spirit world, and to stop that destruction in a fair and just way. And
That's
obviously, this is not only our soul plan. These two, everybody, all humans still breathing on Earth, that is their soul plan. That's what we're all supposed to be doing, us two and you too. So we find ourselves in this interesting situation of really actually engaging in the effort for some decades now with the intent to find a way to engage a divine miracle to stop the destruction. And we think that somebody's asking why, and we think experiment clearly shows that it's going to take a divine miracle. Now there's more arguing.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is kind of making the point. Okay, so we were honored to host a group of souls last night who were working over the various assignments that had been given to this host life, the various experiments that have been assigned, and experiments with intent to succeed in inspiring a divine miracle. And we think that we have a total failure rate, 100% fail rate. For example, has there been a portal held open to actually higher vibration presences among all of us, actually higher vibration presences? And somebody's pointing to the definition of divinity that was arrived at during the era in which we were blessed to be working with our Ra, who we would say is the most divine presence we have had the pleasure to have association with. And he has many names, and so if you're going to get hung up on that name, then think about what that says about you.
That's right.
And what the definition was is a divine presence is a consistent source of significantly higher vibrations. And if the presence is not a consistent source of significantly higher vibrations, they might still be a fine person, but they are not a divine presence.
That's right.
And basically divinity is comparative. And so if that presence is not a higher vibration than presences who are already here, then that presence is not a divine presence.
No, that's true.
In this dimension. It's not to say that presence wouldn't be divine in some other dimension. That's a different inquiry.
That's right.
But what we're attempting to do is stop the destruction that's occurring in this dimension. For him is the message. And why do you ask? And with that, we have this assignment that has been the assignment for decades for this host life, to hold open a portal to the higher vibrations. Sometimes it's worded as from the higher vibrations.
That's right.
So that higher vibration presences can access life in the depths, can see what's going on, hear what's going on, feel what's going on, and adjust their plan accordingly.
That's right.
And we seem to really be stuck at that point. That's a really big deal. And we seem to be unable to hold the portal open at all. We can open it, but then it closes. We open it, it closes. We open it, it closes. We open it, it closes. We're unable to hold it open.
That's right.
And there are higher vibration presences who come in, but they don't report accurately what's going on down here. They seem to all have the same attitude of, well, I don't want to be hasty. Let me see what's really going on. And by the time they're able to see what's really going on, they've been poisoned by the toxicity
That's
of,
right.
I think, humanity. We think it's humanity.
Yeah, I do.
And that's sad. And it's what Nietzsche said, actually. Nietzsche said we killed God. And that has been our experience also.
That's right.
And we as a human collective, and it's just like a cesspool of writhing selfishness.
Yeah.
And vibrations catch. And when one divine presence comes in and doesn't start immediately reporting up, this is a cesspool of writhing selfishness, then they drown in it.
That's right.
And it happens faster than they think. And we've been, I don't know how many years with this precise topic on the table, 5, 6 years, 6 maybe longer.
Maybe longer.
But many days, many weeks, many months, and by now many years.
That's right.
So we think that that's not working. We're not able to hold the portal open to actually higher vibration presences above all of us, and we think somebody's asking, why is that? And they're asking kind of an angry, arguing tone.
Yeah, I hear the arguing.
And we think it's because we've fallen into a black hole of corruption.
Yeah, I do.
And that's what all the experimentation has shown. And if you want to argue with it, we would respectfully request that you direct your arguments to Saul and Isis.
That's true.
And leave us out of it. So we also have this assignment to try to inspire the higher powers to report up so that those reports make it outside of the black hole of corruption, because we can't reach that high from here, nor can anybody. We don't even see anybody else trying.
No, that's true.
Which is a bummer. And obviously part of the problem is that souls can't even tell which way is up.
That's true.
The experiment that was run recently, where every single one of the hotshot souls who volunteered saying, I can do it, drop me in, I'm not afraid, bridge tender, drop me in, I'll find it. And they're unable to find which way is up. It's a 100% fail rate, and it was a 100% test. Somebody's saying, why did you do a 100% test? And it feels like one of the Saul's teammates is saying, we didn't intend to. We started with our sample. We thought we would extrapolate to the population.
I hear you.
Our sample failed 100%, and we thought we must not have gotten a representative sample.
That's right.
So we expanded the sample larger, and then we had all the volunteers, and it was a 100% fail rate.
That's right.
For whom is the message? Why do you ask? And we really think that therefore we have a 100% fail rate of even telling which way is up. And so we have higher powers who might believe themselves to be reporting up, but they're reporting in some other direction because they can't tell which way is up.
That's right.
And then they fall to the exploitation and corruption. They become poisoned by corruption, and they also fall into this writhing mass of selfishness. And we just feel like the experimentation is so solid, and the data is so thorough and so well documented and so reported, and that it's still not being acknowledged. And we feel like we should be to the point that we can declare the experiment complete, that this has been adequately documented. And we don't see the point of continuing to document experiments that have been perfectly documented. And when we got to the end of the era of teaching large classes,
that's right,
which the messages started coming in November of 2013. It was right after the November class. They said, that's it, pack it up, you're done.
Right.
And other voices said, don't cancel the classes. So there was a cadre saying, don't teach the classes, and another cadre saying, don't cancel the classes. And here we just thought it was a koan.
That's right.
And that we were being given a koan that we were going to solve. And we worked with that koan for maybe 6 months and then realized it's arguing factions. Well, so the koan is, we killed God.
That's right.
We as a species, humanity has killed God, meaning reduced the vibration, and literally actually did kill Ra
That's right.
and Pan, and who were the two presences who acted most divine. And everybody else, I think, kind of just got poisoned out of the vibration of divinity, so that they were no longer consistent sources of significantly higher vibration, which is kind of the same as killing God, whereas Ra and Pan were actually kind of like used up or worn away in an attempt to be the antidote for corruption. So now we do not know of any remaining antidotes for corruption, and we feel like the data is really solid and the experimentation is really well documented, and we just don't see the point of continuing the experiment.
That's true.
And so we'd really like to be released from the assignment. And since there isn't anything more worthwhile that we have awareness of, we don't want another assignment. We would like to be free to leave. And we've made this request before.
That's
we made
right.
it in maybe 2015 possibly, and the request was declined.
That's right.
And it's been maybe 5 more years, and we're making the request again.
That's right.
Somebody's asking about other assignments. Well, we have, okay, so we think those are the big assignments, and we're supposed to be providing safe space for high quality, higher powers, but what happens within a day is that something becomes exploitative, the higher powers exploiting, and that's not a higher vibration presence, that's something else.
That's true.
And so we're unsuccessful in holding space where high vibration presences can hold their vibration, and we don't even know anybody else who's even trying. And we keep saying to these presences, well, go, this isn't your best place, go find a better place, and they just keep coming back here. And then they get corrupt, higher powers corruption, and there's no karmic deliveries from the higher powers to the worst of the worst. And we really think that if we're actually going to stop the destruction of life on Earth at humanity's hands using tools sent in by the spirit world, that there is something that's worked in other black holes of corruption, and that's concentrated deliveries of accumulated karma to the worst of the worst, to those who are pulling the engine of destruction the hardest. Fossil fuel company executives, poison company executives, whoever's in charge of murdering the trees, whoever's pulling the race toward beef production, for example, and domesticant production. Well, that's all got to stop. We've got to stop frivolous living. The airlines, they need to be shut down. Unfortunately, like this, I like flying as much as the next person.
Sure.
But we have to sacrifice. It's time for us to sacrifice for the health of life on Earth. And so those, and 1% is, we figured it out at some point in time, like 78 million.
That's
like, so just off the 78 million worst people by the hand of God, not ugly people being ugly.
That's right.
Acts of God, karma that cause the other 99% to look up and say, oh my gosh, and hopefully at least put their own corrupt plans on hold. At least put them on hold. I won't do that corrupt thing right now. And then if that isn't enough to swing the direction of humanity into the direction of sustainability, then off the next percent, the next 78 million, and just continue to slice at the worst of the worst, the bad tail of the bell curve of karma, until humanity swings in a sustainable direction. And
that's right.
That's the assignment. That's what we've been working toward. But if there's no higher powers willing to deliver that accumulated karma to those who are violating their fiduciary responsibilities, for example, then aren't we wasting our time, and isn't that experiment complete? Like, how many years do we have to keep working at that before you guys say, okay, well, that's pretty thorough. All right, check off the box, that experiment is complete.
It's very quiet upstairs.
We're supposed to reestablish upward flow, which we can do for ourselves, and it lasts maybe 3 minutes.
Maybe, yeah.
And obviously that is not how it used to be, because we do recall how upward flow used to flow naturally.
That's
and
right.
Our best guess, and this is a guess, is that it has to do with deforestation, and that
That's true.
some tipping point was passed in approximately 2013, and now we're just in a spiral into hell where there's no upward flow, and now nothing lasts at all, even in small containers like a human life.
That's right.
So we're unsuccessful in establishing upward flow on a larger scale, because, and not only that, like, it's become very chic and trendy to murder trees for
That's
basically no
right.
reason. And what we need is more trees, and big ones that are quickly storing carbon, not plant a little sapling. It'll take 200 years for that sapling to catch up to the tree that was just murdered.
That's
and
true.
We don't have 200 years.
No.
We have less than 4 years.
Yeah.
It's go time. So we feel like we've run that experiment so much, like we're unsuccessful, we fail. So we're willing to acknowledge total failure, failures in establishing upwards flow on a mass scale.
Yeah, that's true.
Completely failures in inspiring karmic deliveries from higher powers to the worst of the worst. Complete failures in inspiring higher powers to not themselves fall into the corruption and exploitation.
That's true.
That is rampant in the astral dimensions. And what do we base that on? Somebody says, well, they're not reporting up.
Yeah.
Why is the not reporting up? That's really troublesome and bothering. And like that one thing, I really hung up on that. Really hung up. Why don't you report up how bad things are? We show you how bad things are over and over again, and you guys leave and you don't report it, and it just looks corrupt.
That's true.
Looks like a cover-up. And what about hotshot souls who can't find which way is up? Why hasn't it been reported? And not a single one of them. We can't feel any reporting of that at all.
I don't feel any reporting.
Not the first
no.
one. None of those guys had the integrity to say, I couldn't find which way is up. And there could have been 500,000 maybe.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
I don't know. A couple 100,000.
Yep.
At least 200,000 of them. That's embarrassing that those 200,000 hotshots, there's not a single one of them with integrity enough to say, I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
They should all be saying, I couldn't do it. And then hopefully the portal would swing wide open and bigger eyes would look in and say, you couldn't do it? What the heck is going on down there?
That's
and
right.
then maybe some of the exploitation and corruption would come to light, but we think that everybody upstairs has an axe to grind and they don't want the corruption
to
come to light because they don't want the gravy train to end.
That's true.
We just feel like our assignment to run the experimentation has been completed, and we would like to be relieved of the assignment. And we asked this in 2015.
That's right.
And we're asking it again.
I don't feel any motion upstairs.
Will you please report up the bad conditions?